Few people exist on an echelon of caliber more impressive than this man. Discarded by fate, shunned by a society he protects, and forgotten by the annals of history. An unsung hero, god among men. I am referring to none other than Paper Luigi, a paragon of the Paper Mario universe and one of my favorite characters to watch evolve across the original 3 entries of the Paper Mario series, and I'm not kidding. You see, Paper Luigi might, in fact, be the origin of the modern characterization of Luigi in general. If he isn't, then he certainly steered it into the lovable, soft-hearted gentleman we see today. Most of the paper versions of long-standing Mario characters were given more personality than they ever previously had. Paper Peach plays an active role in her own rescues. Paper Bowser is a rough and tough goofball who constantly fumbles his plans due to his incompetent subordinates when he isn't completely barking up the wrong tree. Paper Mario himself is a Mickey Mouse-esque interpretation of the character. Energetic, outspoken, but unlike Mickey, a little too polite sometimes. Yet none of them have as huge of a glow-up as Paper Luigi, a character who begins the series as a background element to a background element, and steadily earns his place as a central party member, making mistakes all along the way. Whereas your Luigi Mansions will play up the cowardice of our subject today, Paper Mario aims to create a self-made badass out of his early Easter egg origins. I'm GC Vazquez, and this is the Ballad of Paper Luigi. Paper Luigi's earliest incarnation is in the original Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64 and contains within himself a surprisingly effective amount of subtext, connotation, and details to infer with. To find him, you simply make your way back to the warp pipe connecting Toad Town to the little haven the Mario Brothers home resides in. On your first meeting, Luigi will be disappointed about Goombario, the little Goomba kid who's accompanying Mario on his adventure. He'll feel conflicted about not being able to come with Mario instead, but otherwise is fine with it as long as you come visit once in a while to keep him updated. You'll only be able to talk to Luigi on future visits once you've upgraded Mario's equipment or partied up with the specific partner you need to reach Luigi on whatever platform he's created for himself this time. He'll remark on how dangerous the chapter in your adventure must have been, and sometimes slyly insert a statement alluding it would have been a lot less dangerous if he was there. His constant one-upping of requiring you to find new tools or friends to help get him to speak with you is almost like he's trying to avoid you, actively ignoring you so he doesn't have to hear another one of your exciting stories because of how it makes him feel. Now, this is a Nintendo spin-off game, which is usually pretty lacking in the narrative department, but it's specifically an Intelligent Systems developed Nintendo game. The same studio who brought us the Fire Emblem series and went to extensive lengths fleshing out the Paper Mario world. So it's honestly a little hard to say if it's a stretch at all, because I imagine if you're already doing so much with this world and its characters, you're going to find ways to tell said stories in the much more limited presentation Paper Mario provides for it. Once you unlock the ground pound ability from Chapter 3 and visit the house, you can find Luigi's hidden diary underneath the floorboards of the bedroom. In it is a much more honest Luigi's writings about how he feels towards Mario's escapades in the Mushroom Kingdom. He reminisces about the good old days when the two of them would team up to fight Bowser, or the parties and outings they had, references to Mario spin-offs now canonized as a history of the brothers doing everything together. But he also vents about not being able to go with him, how he feels slighted by Mario not even asking if he wanted to come along. And over time, a yearning for adventure begins to build within Luigi's writing, as well as self-degradation over his prospects of ever taking center stage in his own adventure. It's worth noting Luigi also handles Mario's mail, which arrives in bunches between chapters. Can you imagine being the second half of a duo and being the other half's errand boy? Luigi places the mail in a drawer just above the entrance to a secret room, then probably goes down there to deal with what he ends up feeling. His last diary entry in Paper Mario suggests he's going to seal the secret room away before Mario finds out about it. Literally just below the surface of his supportive demeanor are Luigi's true feelings, ones of inadequacy, jealousy, and ultimately denial, sealing the room away from his brother, but also literally burying those feelings deep down inside him. I know. Listen. I know. It's Luigi we're talking about. But when you put Luigi in an RPG, he's going to end up becoming something beyond just a lovable mascot character. Granted, Paper Mario only gives us a limited peek into whatever said beyond is, but the Thousand Year Door gives a lot of our early assumptions about Luigi solid credence. With Mario off in Rogueport, a delegate from a far-off kingdom shows up in Toad Town to request his aid in rescuing their princess, but with him gone, it falls to Luigi to assume responsibility. Over the course of the Thousand Year Door, Mario can encounter Luigi standing outside various areas in Rogueport, often accompanied by one of his own party members, where he'll tell you all about the last dilemma he was in lengthy detail. Really lengthy detail. Suspiciously lengthy detail. Luigi grandstands so much in his tales, they begin to produce a certain level of doubt in the listener. For fratted confusion, speaking to his partner will reveal additional information he conveniently left out to make himself look good. Luigi is mostly telling the truth and he's obviously getting the job done, but he can't fess up to his own shortcomings. If we look at it as a continuation of the character from the original Paper Mario, a lot of the details line up. After fussing about not being able to go on an adventure of his own and then questioning whether or not he'd even be up to the task, Luigi is finally given an opportunity to seize the day and prove something to himself. Then push comes to shove, and it doesn't turn out to be the grand moment he wanted it to be. His self-doubt finds confirmation in the mistakes he makes and the people he burns, literally in some cases. Even though he nears ever closer to completing his quest, it isn't enough. Because he doesn't just want to go on an adventure like his brother, it's also about being just as capable, just as clever as him too. Luigi omits details of his adventures because he doesn't want Mario to be disappointed in him. Faced with a hard-to-swallow truth, Luigi once again chooses to push it away. Out of sight, out of mind. This creates the anxious drive behind Luigi's persistence in the Thousand Year Door. In his tales, he regales Mario with quirky antics, disguising himself as a sacrificial bride to fight a snake monster, starting a kart race in reverse, playing the role of grass in a play. Over time, Luigi becomes confident in his own awkward way of saving the day, even if he's still mostly dancing around the whole story. He manages to find pride in a few of his victories, joins forces with party members who don't absolutely despise him, and he slowly starts to fall in love with the damsel in distress he's been tasked with saving, hearing her voice through the magic fragments he's collecting to save her. Though tormented by the comparison between him and Mario, Paper Luigi grows into a dependable, if clumsy, person, and his new confidence fills his head with all sorts of hopes and expectations, until they come crashing down at the apex of his battle with the final boss of the Paper Luigi story we're never privy to. Humiliated, Luigi leaves out a huge part of his final confrontation from the story he tells Mario. The only way to find out about it is to buy the Super Luigi books shops begin to sell towards the end of the Thousand Year Door, which reveal the reason for Luigi's silence is because he's heartbroken. The princess he went to save, the princess he fell for, was in love with someone else. His princess was in another castle. Can you believe I made this video just to make that joke? God damn it. Oh, I'm so lightheaded. Oh my god. There's a lot of irony at play here. Dude just toppled an ancient evil, saved a princess's true love from succumbing to its possession, and kicked serious ass in the process. But he isn't satisfied with his achievement. Why? What's the problem? Well, when Mario saves the day, he gets the girl. The original Paper Mario established that Luigi cares a great deal about what his brother thinks of him. The Thousand-Year Door runs with it, twisting his eagerness to impress Mario into an obsession with matching him. But no matter how much better Luigi gets, no matter how hard he tries, he always falls short of Mario. And after so much growth, he finds himself where he started. His suppressed feelings bubbled to the surface and fears made reality. The character concludes the Thousand-Year Door hell-bent on satisfying those self-imposed standards. It's at this point in the Paper Mario series where Intelligent Systems was rumored to have had a lot of their freedoms with the Mario license reduced. This is why Super Paper Mario features fewer classic Mushroom Kingdom related characters and introduces a lot of original character designs. Partners are pushed into smaller roles, but this also means the staple cast of Bowser, Peach, and Luigi are able to take more prominent positions in the story alongside Mario. And seeing the future of the series on the horizon, I suspect the writing team decided to close out the threads of continuity with a bang. In a way, forcing them to focus on the main Mario characters allowed them to give Paper Luigi a proper conclusion to his character arc by making it integral to Super Paper Mario's story. Very early on, Luigi becomes hypnotized by Count Bleck, the central villain of Super Paper Mario. Brainwashed into supreme loyalty, Luigi dons a black face mask and a brand new outfit, transforming into the Green Thunder, Mr. L. Mr. L is a hyper-confident, hyper-outspoken adversary with an indomitable motivation to defeat Mario and his friends. As a recurring boss fight, he proves to have a commanding talent for robotics and returns to fight the party with more powerful renditions of his mechanical creations every encounter. If you look at Mr. L as a continuation of the Paper Luigi saga, all you're really seeing is a manifestation of Luigi's inner thoughts. Mr. L is Luigi turned inside out, or I guess, in line with his hat design, an inversion of Luigi. The cocksure attitude, the brazen effort to stand out amongst the other minions under Count Bleck's command, and the undying resolve to best Mario in combat are all expressions of Luigi's own frustrations and desires. This is a Luigi who's lost sight of his original goal. When we started this series, all Luigi wanted was to go on an adventure with Mario. All he wanted was to spend time with his brother. This desire slowly mutates into envy, which brings out the arrogance he later uses to go on his own adventure, which only succeeds in reinforcing his sense of inadequacy, which fuels the envy all over again. He's not Luigi anymore. He's something else. As the story continues, Mr. L challenges Mario time and again and loses time and again. With each defeat, his frustration grows and Luigi's hangups begin to consume him. Until eventually, Mr. L is destroyed by another one of Count Bleck's minions for his consistent failures, essentially dying and going to Super Paper Mario's rendition of the Underworld. I'm not going to call it by the name it's given in the game, it's embarrassing. The Underwear. They call it the Underwear. And now that I've said it, I've ruined all the schmaltzy dramatic build-up video essayists do in pieces like this. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? I keep having to stress how silly it is to be having this conversation about Luigi of all people. A mascot character for a mascot character who was originally a palette swap of said mascot character, whose claim to fame is being a sidekick to said mascot character. But I continue to insist there's something here the writers for this series wanted us to pick up on. Luigi is a pivotal component to a pair of twin prophecies which make up the core conflict of Super Paper Mario's narrative, one of which will come true depending on which side of a great conflict Luigi chooses to affiliate himself with. In Super Paper Mario, the MacGuffins Mario is in search of are called the Pure Hearts, and they're to be collected in order to stop the use of the Chaos Heart, which is mentioned by characters in the story as having a perfect host in the form of Luigi. And why wouldn't he be? After failing to meet his own standards, Luigi would no doubt be a ball of inner conflict and turmoil. A magical artifact meant to take advantage of those emotions and twist the user into a monster would see Paper Luigi as the ideal candidate. Upon arriving in the underwear, goddammit, the hypnosis is broken and Luigi returns to his former self. The death of Mr. L, the destruction of an alter ego constructed entirely of Luigi's dark thoughts, brings about the rebirth of Paper Luigi. As he joins the team, Luigi is finally given what he wanted in the first place, an adventure with his brother, a place at his side providing something to the group only he can give, and more importantly, understanding something about his brother. Mario doesn't have to accomplish everything on his own, and neither does he. Joining the party in Super Paper Mario, Luigi has front row seats to the way Mario has been saving the day in the Paper Mario series. It becomes clear his brother isn't a one-man army. The people he teams up with assist him along the way, and now Luigi himself is one of those people. Luigi dispels the illusion he had cast on himself about who Mario was, and realizes the standard he'd been holding himself to doesn't exist. He understands being a part of a team sometimes means sitting out of the action. Sometimes you can do more on the sidelines. Being part of a team means you can rely on others to help you, and they can rely on you to be there for them. And in Luigi's case, he's been an anchor for Mario since the beginning. He's where Mario returns to at the end of every chapter. He's who Mario looks forward to talking to whenever they both get back to Rogueport. He's his brother and his friend. In the Paper Mario series, Mario depends on Luigi for stability, for normalcy, for the reminder if anything happened to him, there'd be someone to pick up his slack. There'd be another guy who could save the day. At the end of Super Paper Mario, Luigi is once again brainwashed into Mr. L despite trying to resist it. But this version of Mr. L is almost devoid of any personality. The feelings Luigi had been harboring are gone. There is no resentment to fill in the character, no arrogance or motivation to be better than Mario. So there is no Mr. L to speak of, aside from a shell formerly housing Luigi's darkest emotions. Isn't that cool? How this time he's just kind of blank because all the attitude was coming from a place of spite, but now that it's gone, now that Luigi doesn't harbor those feelings anymore, his alter ego is just kind of an empty vessel? Don't you think that's cool? Because I think that's cool as fuck! Mario frees Luigi from the brainwashing again using the power of the Pure Hearts, but almost tragically, Luigi spends the final battle as an enemy. At the end of all things, he's prevented from saving the day in the way he had wanted to at the start of his character arc in the original Paper Mario. But this time, Luigi feels no shame, no disappointment, because he was able to be a part of the group who did. Despite his inability to do anything, he knows he helped them get there in his own way. He's just happy to be there. Paper Luigi tells a story not about a person who finally proves what they've been trying to for X amount of time. It tells the story of a person who realizes nothing needed proving at all. About finding peace with your place in the world and understanding said place is in much better straits than you thought it was. It's a tale about how quickly envy can make you forget what you wanted in the first place and twist your ambitions into a self-destructive force. The underlying tale of Luigi in the Paper Mario series is often overlooked as isolated moments of a goofy sidekick and his antics, but I think there's more than meets the eye in this case. Unfortunately, his arc stops here, as future Paper Mario games will use him as a literal background Easter egg with no dialogue. Maybe the saddest thing about Paper Luigi is after Super Paper Mario, he's reverted into that superficial palette swap mascot. His developed personality is sorely missed, as are the stories he was meant to tell. Next time you're playing the original Paper Mario trilogy, keep an eye on the Green Thunder. Listen to his stories and get to know him better. It'll change your perspective.